Okay. Hey, hello everyone. This is gonna be maybe a brief virtual lesson, but it's something that I wanna share with you. I'm not an expert on this topic, but I had the opportunity to learn a little bit from one of our clients, Scriven and Co. A little bit about the reports on Power BI. I did some very basic reports. And I want to share this with you because I think this can be helpful for some of our current clients and the one that we can have in the future. There's definitely a lot more to learn about this tool, but let's see what I have today. The um, the main topic that we're going to be seeing today is what is Power BI, the key components, the basic data sources for the reports, the reports creation and how to publish a report. Let's start with what is Power BI. Power BI is a business analytics service by Microsoft. I think uh, maybe every one of you already listened something about Power BI. Maybe you already use it. It aims to provide interactive visualization and business intelligence capabilities with an interface simple enough for an end user to create their own reports and dashboard. This is something really good because we don't have to create the reports by ourselves. We don't need a developer to do this. Somebody else with knowledge in maybe Excel can can create their own reports. There are things that maybe they are not familiarized with, like the data sources when they're maybe accessing um, a database or Azure account, something like that. Then that's something that we can help them. And after that, they can be ready to start creating their own reports. Today, we're gonna be seeing two of the key components of Power BI. The first one is Power BI Desktop. It's a Windows application for PCs and desktop, uh, primarily for designing and publishing reports to the service. It's like our tool to create the reports. And the Power BI service, that it's a software as a service platform online that it's formerly known as Power BI for Office 365. Now it's just called powerbi.com or simply Power BI. It's the platform, it's already linked to the Azure accounts that our clients have or we have. And we can visualize all the reports that we publish over there. There are some other components like Power BI mobile apps. I don't have any experience with all the ones that are not in yellow, so I'm just adding this to let you know that there's something else we can that we can know. The Power BI gateways. This is like it's used to sync external data and in and out from Power BI. With the example that I'm going to be using today from the reports that are already published on an Azure account, I'm not going to be using a gateway because I'm going to be using an database that it's hosted in a database in Azure. So because it's in Azure in the same account, we don't need a gateway in this case, but this is something that can be used for another scenarios where a database is in some other place. Um, we have the Power BI embedded. It's a Power BI REST API that can be used to build dashboards and reports into custom application for server Power BI user or non-Power BI users. The Power BI report server, on-premise Power BI reporting solution for companies that want or can store data in the cloud based by Power BI service. Power BI Premium, that it's like something extra that you can pay for it. It's a capacity-based offering that includes flexibility to publish reports broadly across an enterprise without requiring recipients to the license individually per user, greater than scale and performance that share capacity in the Power BI service, and the Power BI Visuals Marketplace. It's a marketplace of custom visuals and our powered visuals that you can access and you can download to use them. And We're going to be seeing some basic data source. I'm going to be using as data source database that it's in my computer. This is pretty basic. It's very easy to use it. We have different uh, kinds of authentication, and I'm going to show you just a little bit about how I access to an Azure account too. Here is a link where you can see the different kind of these data sources that you can use. They have a lot of them, more than 100 types. So if you want to see them, you have something that you want to use, you can take a look over there if it's able to access to those kind of files or database. So right now, let's see a basic data source example. Right here, you can see that I'm using the Power BI desktop. This is the tool that allows you to design or create the reports. I'm going to create a new report. So, well, let's give it a minute just to let this open. Okay, over here. It's a blank new project, so I can start with the data source. In this case, I'm going to be using SQL Server. It's very easy. I'm going to use my localhost database, and database that download, it's AdventureWorks. And right here, if I have access, in this case I have, I'm going to be able to select the information that I want from the database. This is very normal when you're using a SQL database, or it's based on tables. You're going to be seeing a list over here, and you can select all of them. You can select tables, you can select views, functions. In this specific case, I'm going to select two tables that are going to have the information that I want for a specific report. I want to see, this is like an entire company database. So I want to see like the sales from the specific country. So I'm going to select, in this case, country, region, and sales order header. I only need to load them. This is gonna create like specific access to those tables. And I'm gonna be allowed to select the columns from those tables over here to create and design my reports. So in this case, I'm gonna try to have this information that I want from the sales total used from every specific country. Um, let's start with a table, just to give this example. As you notice, I select only these two tables, but I didn't care about the connection, the relationship between those tables. So in this case, if I select the country name and I select total due, this should be displaying the total due for every specific country. And as you can see, I'm only seeing this number all around, even in the final sum. This is because I don't have a relationship between these two tables. So this is just mixing information, and it's not very useful. So in this case, to have the full experience of and the right behavior of this information, I would need to load not just those tables, but I need to load the tables between them, even if I'm not going to be using them. Like in this case, I already add the person address and state province that are going to help me to link them. And now I can select only those values And as you can see, this is already working, but I need to have those tables load even if I'm not going to use the information inside of them. And it's the same data, but this is actually working. The other one, it's not very helpful. So right now that I can see this information, it's working, I have it here, I can start creating any kind of reports that I want. So let me go to the presentation again. So we have different kind of reports. In this case, you already saw a table kind, and we have multiple kinds. I don't know if you're familiarized with this, if you already use some tools to create reports. I think a lot of us maybe use the Crystal Reports once, and this is the kind of the same types of reports. So you can use whatever you want from this list to create anything you want, to create anything that your clients want. This normally maybe it's not like something that you must know. This is more like a BI decision sometimes to allow the clients to visualize the information that they want to know for their process and their companies, maybe KPIs. But in this case, I create with this information two different kind of reports. In this case, it's a regular bar report. It's very easy. I only you can select the report one is created, and you can see the information that I add. I create this one to see how many orders we had from every specific country in every single year. So you can see that it's well, in this case, it's not very hard to see it, but let's create a new report where it's going to be complicated to see the information inside the table, inside the graph. Let's select the country name, total due, and the order date. Over here, when you have like a date in this case, you don't have to have the entire information from the date. So in this case, I just want to use the year. I'm gonna remove all the other values, and I'm gonna use the country name as a legend. This will allow me to have the multiple countries at different charts. And over here, you can see that it's complicated to see the countries that are over the other ones. So I'm able to design and change colors, like let's see, in this case, the legend. Data colors. Over here, you can change anything you want. It's very easy to do it. I think almost anyone that can manage tools from Office can do something like this. So yeah, you can change anything you want over here, and it's pretty easy to do it. We have this kind of chart too. This kind of yeah, it's more like in a chart that it's using a map. It's very useful, I think, for some cases, some specific cases, that it's painting or marking the spots where a sale came up, where a sale were created. So yeah, as you can see, we have multiple kind of reports that can be created over here. We can add it stats. This is an entire project that you can add whatever you want over here that can help your clients to visualize whatever they want. It's very easy to do it. In our specific case, we start looking into this because we had a client that wanted to visualize the list of users that create an account, and at creating an entire page or an entire view that allow them to visualize the users and the in this case with Craven, the amount of shopping lists that were created every single time. It was a little bit complicated. It was going to take more time than creating a report over here. And for this client, it was like very important to take care of the amount of time spent on the project. So we decided to do it this way, and it worked. It in this case worked for them. So it's a solution for a lot of the scenarios. So let's back to the presentation to see what's next. Publishing a report. So in this case, I don't have an Azure account link, so I'm not going to be able to publish this one. But I have over here the example that the report that we create for a client for Craven. And when you finish everything that you want to do, you just have to publish. You just need to have your account linked to your Azure portal, to your Azure account, and you're going to be seeing over here the workspace on your Power BI server. In this case, I only have my workspace. If I select it and I click select, it's gonna tell me that it's gonna start publishing. In a case where there's another report that it's called the same wave. In this case, it's not there's no changes, so it didn't ask me. But if you have a change and you have a report that it's called with the same name, it's gonna ask you if you want to replace it or you want to rename it. So let's see what's happened when you publish something to your Power BI server. Over here, I have my workspace. This is the entire project. It's a file that you can download and you can manage in Power BI desktop. Over here, I have the reports, and something very important that allows the reports to work and to be updated. It's the data set. When you upload a report, a data set is going to be created, and you have the ability to configure the data. I'm sorry, with the schedule refresher. Yeah, you can schedule a refresher for the information that it's using, because it's not real time. I mean, I think in some cases you can add configuration for real time refresh, but in this case we only want to refresh once a day, and you are able to create a specific schedule for the refresher for every specific data set. Like in this case, I have 3 of them because we have 3 different environments, and you just had to add the emails that you want to report when something fail. And like I told you before, we're not using a gateway in this case because this is a database that it's hosted in an Azure database, so it's not necessary. And because I upload this file as a report, but I was using some Azure credentials to access the data source from the Power BI report. You have the ability to do that like this. When you get access to the information, you can use Azure database. And in this case, you can connect with your Azure account. So when I upload the project over here, the report over here, the data set, it's going to be created, but without the credentials, without the data authentication. So to create this schedule refresher, you must create a credential over here. It's going to ask you for, when you start looking into this, you're going to see like an alert over here, because it doesn't have the real or the right credentials to access to the database. So you must add a credential. For this specific case, when I'm using an Azure database, you can use your Azure account to authenticate from the Power BI desktop. But when you're using this Power BI.com, you can't use that kind of authentication. You must use a regular SQL Server authentication. So you must create a user. In this case, I create a specific user that only have reading permissions, and I added over here. It takes like, I think it depends on the kind of information that you want to upload, but it takes like 10 minutes to finish the uploading, and now it's created. Now it's working. Every single day it's going to be refreshing the information, and when the client go to the report, they're going to be looking into the new information every single day. So well, I think that's it. I don't know if you have any questions. Maybe I was going too fast. I can come back to something that you want to ask if you want to. Oh, okay. So
no, I don't
yeah.
have any questions, Raul, but thank you very much. I think it was very helpful. I've always wanted to kind of get started with Power BI. I think this is something that adds value to the type of work that I do. So thank you very much. I'll just start practicing, and that's when the questions will come up, I'm sure.
Yeah, for sure. And there are some other things that you can learn from this tool. I mean, working with information, not just a report, but as a business intelligence kind of analyzing information from databases and creating our reports that are more based in data mining and things like that. It's very useful. It's something that you must know about it. You must know the basis of data mining and BI, but I think it's not that hard when you are using a specific tool and you want to I don't know, to work with a specific client that have a specific requirement. It's not that hard. I think this tool allows you to start working without any knowledge about BI, and you can start from this to the final spot where you already know about BI, and it's not very necessary to know it. So yeah, it's very helpful. It's a very helpful tool, and I hope it can help you to you in the future. And anytime you want to do something like this, if you want to start doing something like this, you can definitely reach me, and I can try to help you if I can. There are a lot of things that I don't know right now because this is very new for me, but I wanted to share this with you to start with this. I know this is something new for the company that we want to start growing up in this area. So yeah, it's something good that one of our clients is already using Power BI report created from our side. So thank you guys. Thank you guys for joining, and thank you guys for your time. And I think that's it.
All right. Thank you very much, Raul.
Thank you, Raul.
Thank you. Thank you guys.
Good job, Raul.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Raul.